Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, Hexes and Horrors. Thank you so much for being here, especially if you're new to my channel. In today's video, we are going to be talking about the groundbreaker skeletons and the 12-foot skeletons, and just some general Halloween decorating. It is almost 4th of July, which means that it is almost fall, which means that it is almost Halloween, and then it's all going to be over in the blink of an eye, and then we have to wait another year for it to come around again. So I am soaking up summer, but I am very excited to also get started with my Halloween decorating this year. Last year I was a little bit lazy, and the year before that I went all out, which was our first year living in this house and living in Pennsylvania. If you don't know, I'm from New York originally. I still consider myself to be from New York. I mean, yeah, that makes sense. But I live in Pennsylvania. So I mentioned on my Instagram a couple of days ago that I'm looking for and trying to get a hold of this groundbreaker skeleton. From what I understand, it came out last year. I saw people posting about it from 2023, unless the date was wrong, because I haven't seen it anywhere until now. But it's in a bunch of different stores and there are a few different versions of it. So this is what the groundbreaker skeleton looks like. And I believe that Party City had the original version. They were the first ones to come out with it. And I think they had it, like I said, in 2023. But this year, they have the groundbreaker skeleton, and then they are adding this guy, which I really want. I would love to get both of them, but let's not get too carried away here. Then Costco has their own version. At Home has another version. Joann's Fabrics has a version. So there's all these different versions of this groundbreaker skeleton coming out. They are slightly differently priced. I think that Party Cities is closer to $300 and some of the other stores are closer to $200. And they all have slight variations with the painted eye sockets or the painted ribs. Some of them have black ribs, some of them have white ribs, some of them have just different paint on the face. But I'm feeling like I'm really into this skeleton even more than the 12-foot skeleton, which I don't own a 12-foot skeleton. I would like to own one. I just thought it was a little bit expensive. Then when I was finally ready to purchase one this spring, when they dropped a few early, I had my opportunity to get one. The Home Depot near me had a few of them in stock. And then, of course, I blew it by waiting too long, deciding whether or not it was a good idea. And then by the time I was ready to order one, they were gone. So I will not be making that mistake again. I'm thinking I want this groundbreaker skeleton, though, over the 12-foot skeleton. If I have a chance to get both of them and I feel like spending that amount of money, then I will, because that would be a cool look as well, to have the 12-foot skeleton kind of towering above the groundbreaker one. And I have new thoughts for my graveyard this year and where it's going to be. Both of them together would add such an element to my graveyard, but even one of them would be fine. So I already called my local At Home, my local Party City, and my local Costco to check if they had any of these groundbreaker skeletons. And I have days next week where I'm supposed to call these stores back and check again to see if they got any shipments in. The people I spoke to at Party City and At Home both said they had gotten about 3 of them in stock and they sold out immediately. Costco said that they hadn't gotten any in yet, but to call back on Tuesday. It's currently Saturday. So next week, that will be my job, is calling these stores and seeing if they got any shipments in or when they expect to get one in, so that I can try to stay on top of it. Although I'm sure everyone is trying to stay on top of it who's trying to get one now that they are trickling into stores. I don't really set my sights on items for Halloween when they come out. I think there are a lot of really cool things that come out every year, and I love seeing the stuff that other people get, especially if they've been looking for it for a long time and then they finally get their hands on it. But I'm not really the type to try to get anything during Halloween season. It's just a personal preference. I like to just wait until after Halloween and then see what I can get on sale for the following year. That's just how I've always done it. I go to Spirit Halloween the first and second weeks of November when everything is like 25, 50% off. There have been times where things have been 75% off. and I kind of just try to stock up on what I can with a budget. I do set a budget for myself and stock up on what I can within that budget for the following year. So this is the first time that I've really set my eyes on something that I want to try to get. And I have to tell you, I don't like the feeling. It's akin to bidding on eBay, if anyone has ever done that. So we'll see how it goes. And if it stresses me out too much, then I might just have to say forget it. But I would really love to put one of those items in my graveyard. So I'm expanding my graveyard this year. I have a video on my pumpkin patch outside, and if you watch that video, I do show the area where my graveyard's going to be this year. I will put a clip actually right here for you, just a little photo. And this is where it was last year. So we're expanding it. We're moving it over to the other side of the yard. I'm trying to fill that space. I did get a good amount of stuff last year on sale for my graveyard, some new tombstones and things, and I want to have it look full. I also have a fog machine and strobe lights, and I didn't use the fog machine. I've actually had it for 2 years and it's just been sitting in my attic. I got it at a Halloween flea market. It was discounted price because it's slightly used. It is from Spirit Halloween. I just have not gotten the fog juice for it yet, so I'm going to have to do that this year and put that thing in action. So I'm going to have the graveyard. I want the strobe lights to be on the graveyard and the fog machine. The only issue is that you're not really supposed to have them. It says they're for indoor use. So obviously I can't put them out if it's raining or anything. I have to be really careful with that. But honestly, I'm thinking the fog machine's only going to be up and running on Halloween night anyway, maybe a couple of days before. I'm not going to have that going every single night. Strobe lights I would like to have going most nights. So we're going to have to see how this all works out. But the first year I decorated for Halloween, I went all out. My porch looked crazy, and I want it to look like that again. This is a picture of my porch the first year that we lived here. I don't even remember having any kind of vision for this porch. I was just grabbing things, buying pumpkins, hay, stacking it all up. I switched the arrangement of it so many times, my neighbors probably thought I was insane. But what really did it for me is the hand-carved jack-o'-lanterns. Like, that just gives it a whole nother element on the porch. And the ones that are by the door are the stackables. They're not boo buckets, but they're very similar, and I put lights inside of them. That works great too, and it looks really cool. But the hand-carved jack-o'-lanterns, they just light it up, as they should. So last year I was a little bit lazy. I didn't do any hay. I had barely any pumpkins on the porch. I had a lot of other decorations and decor. It was a little more horror centric than just Halloween centric. I had some bloody feet hanging from the ceiling, some ghouls and goblins. But I kind of want to do this again, combined with the horror centric stuff I did last year. I think I really need to go take inventory of what's in my attic and draw out a plan, because again, I don't have a vision, but I need to create one. I have a vision for the graveyard. I don't have a set vision for the porch, and it needs to all come together very quickly. From the time I was probably 7 years old, I said to my parents, when I get older, we're going to have the craziest house on the block. We're going to have a haunted house. We're going to have this. We're going to have that. It's going to be insane. It's going to be the house that everyone comes to from all over town. That didn't happen. We definitely decorated well, but it just didn't end up being what I thought it would be, of course. I had these grand visions for what it would be like, and obviously I just didn't have the resources or the time to create that vision. So I'm trying to do that now, just little by little, year by year, add more stuff in. And I'm hoping this groundbreaker skeleton again is going to come into my life and just up the level of that graveyard. Another thing I always said that I really wanted and was going to save for over time were animatronics, and I still would like to do that. It's just that they obviously are a bigger chunk of money. And yeah, I'm just working my way up to that, Got to start with the small stuff first, fill in the graveyard, do all of that, and then we can worry about animatronics later on. They're also a lot trickier because you're not supposed to have them out in the rain or outside, really, which I know a lot of houses have them in their yards, so I really need to look more into that and do a little more research as well. So we're not there yet. We're not ready for animatronics. So this year, I'm just focusing on the graveyard, getting this damn groundbreaker skeleton, hopefully, fingers crossed, maybe the 12-foot skeleton. And yeah, just doing it up again real big like the first year. Lights, purple, orange, fog machine, strobe lights, skeletons. I can see it now. One of my neighbors did something super cool this past Halloween, and I didn't even see it until Halloween night. I was on my way to go somewhere, and I had to pull over and check it out because it was so freaking cool. He has a pretty small front yard, but he set up a corn maze in his front yard. I don't even know how he did it. I don't know what the corn stalks were. I don't know how the corn stalks were standing upright. And this wasn't up prior to Halloween night, so he must have done it in a day or two. But it was a corn maze in his front yard, and he had just carved out a path through that corn maze. There was a fog machine, spooky music. He was dressed up in costume, kind of scaring people through the maze. It was like a little mini haunted cornfield. It was really, really cool and really well done for such a small space. I would love to do something similar one day, like a little haunted walkthrough or something cool. But again, starting small, baby steps, we will get there. But props to that guy because I was really impressed with that. All right, that's it. This was just a quick little conversation on this groundbreaker skeleton that I am trying to get my hands on and some plans that I have for this year's Halloween decorating. Let me know if there's something that you're looking for in particular this season, if it's a 12-foot skeleton, the groundbreaker skeleton, or some other kind of special decoration or item for inside or outside of the house, or just for your personal use. I love seeing what people get and try to get their hands on. Thanks so much for watching and caring about my silly little conversations. If you're not already subscribed to Hexes and Horrors, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you so, so much for being here and for watching and taking the time. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you guys next time. Stay spooky.